We'll be getting started in just a second. But yeah, this is the most Capybara stream on YouTube. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Lazabar, PhD, and we are going to talk about... Oh, you can't see my hand because of the picture of Capybara right there. We'll be getting started here in just a minute. I just been having fun doodling, man. I can't help it. Like, you start scratching those artsy itches or whatever, and the next thing you know, it's like you're just like, I gotta do a 5-minute doodle every day. Who knows? Pretty soon, I could bump it up to 6 or even 7-minute doodles. Like, who knows what kind of madness we'll get then? I don't, and I'm the person making them. But yeah, I just started the other day. It was just kind of like, I want to do like a... Oh, hey, there's a problem with my chat. YouTube! Hold on, let me actually open my stream up. Okay. Alright, now I know I can get to my chat if I need to. Alright, cool. Right, where was I? I don't remember where I was. Yeah, must not matter. Anyway, I'm going to mute the microphone for like 60 seconds, and then we will get started for real. And we'll get Capybara off the screen. Until then, enjoy the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack. 2.1 just came out yesterday. I was playing it on Twitch, and I had a blast. That game is just a hoot, man. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'll be right back. OBS wants me to sign into chat. This action cannot be performed inside of Streamlabs. To interact, you need to open it in a web browser. That's so silly. You mean that's not just like an embedded web browser right there? Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Anyway, I say we start the stream, man. Extraction action. The track is playing right now is going to wrap up in a second. We're going to get to the Rebel Path, which is clearly a highlight. Let's whoop, there we go. You know what? You saw Capybara. Here's another Capybara. That's the first one I drew to start this off. And then today, I dropped the King Capybara. So you're like zoomed in on his head. And then Ninja Weasel coined, where was that? Let me find that. He had a great name for it. It was like the Notorious Guinea B.I.G. right there. Heavy as the head that wears the crown, man. I'm having fun. You'll never accuse me of being a great artist. I know, I get it. But if you're having fun with the art, or the art means something to you, that's absolutely something that's worth you doing. That's my opinion anyway. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizabar, and this is New Comic Book Day 12/6/23, and we are here to talk about comic books and comic book accessories. Maybe the first thing I should talk about is that little manga right there. It's an Amera manga, so it's really a comic book in disguise. But I had way, way more fun reading this thing than I think I have any right to actually say. Like, reading it was a blast. And there was a lot of really cutesy stuff in here. There was some stuff that was kind of like cool looking, like when the antagonists show up, like they're digging themselves up out of their graves like that. Like, I thought that looked pretty cool. And then you get like the introduction to them on the next page, and definitely like, well, like their leader is just absolutely fabulous. Look at him, man, fabulous. It was fun. I had fun reading it. And that's really what matters when you're starting to talk about comic books or manga or any other form of entertainment is, did you, the person who consumed it, the person who read it, the person who watched it, the person who listened to it, did you personally dig the book? Now, I got this for like $1 from St. Vincent's de Paul, which is like a charity consignment store type deal, kind of like Goodwill, except the money actually goes to charity. That was a little mean to Goodwill. I shouldn't have said that. But, yeah. So that's where I got this from a couple years ago. And it's just sat on the bookshelf right up there above my monitor. And I just had a lark, and I read it. And I'm glad I did. Now, today, for comic books, we got a CGC paper bag, again, because I forgot to take my super sturdy plastic bag with me. So here we are, killing the planet a little bit, which for some people is a goal in and of itself. You know, I'm not, no judging right here. This is a judge-free kind of judgy zone, right? We only slightly judge you here. All right. Sorry, I'm getting like blown up on Twitter notifications. Anyway, this is a little bag for CGC. If you're interested in grading your comics, I don't understand you, but I get it. That's a thing you want to do, and you should do it. Like, here, submit there. Submit to CGC. Anyway, I do pretty much all of my comic shopping at Graham Cracker Comics. And if you go to Graham Cracker Comics on a Wednesday, you get not 1, not 2, but 3 books for free. 1, 2, 3 books for free. Boom. Yeah, my timing was a little off there. I was trying to time that drop with the 3, and it just didn't work out. But you get not 1, not 2, but 3 books for free out of the dollar bin. The dollar bin used to be the 75-cent bin, which used to be the 50-cent bin. Inflation is killing all of us. So I got 3 books for free. 2 books I paid for, one of which I'm not entirely sure just how much I can show you on stream. Oh, my headset's, give me a second. I'm going to move my microphone. My headset is sounding weird, and I don't want it to be affecting the audio you good people are hearing. So, un momento. Okay, I think we're back. Alright. I had to adjust like the channel my headset was going in. It was like picking up radio interference or something. Ain't that crazy? I hope the microphone wasn't. I hope that was not a problem. But, got 3 books for free. And the very first one I got, I don't have a single issue of this Robotech miniseries, but I like Robotech, so I thought, hey, why not? Looks okay, and it's in color. The other Robotech books I got are black and white. There's like a card or something on the inside front that's making it hard to... Oh, there are. Look at that. We got a couple collector cards here. So I guess that's like the ship is named the Journey. And that dude up there is named Zor. Hello, Zor. Ooh, I like the little plate here on the inside front cover. That's pretty dope. I don't recognize a single one of the people that worked on this book, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just a true fact. Oh, they're building a pyramid back here. These dudes are dressed like the Robotech Masters, aren't they? Weren't they the ones that were wearing robes? Dude, the cardboard there just like immediately like flipped the book around. Bro! Where can you uncover the latest, or I'm sorry, the exclusive inside info about all the latest developments in the ever-changing comics world? Call the one instant service used by the comic book professionals themselves. Bro, that sounds like something that I should have. That sounds like something I should be involved with. You think that phone number still works? Should I try giving it a call? Let's be honest, it doesn't work, does it? It so doesn't work. Which is a shame. Well, is it really a shame, man? 900 numbers were always a ripoff. Remember, one time when I was a kid, one of my cousins supposedly called like some 900 number, and his parents thought he was calling a, the naughty kind 900 number, but he called like the WWF wrestling hotline for like 10 minutes or something. It's like, okay. Never really appealed to me, but hey, if you got if you can afford 95 cents per minute, I guess go for it. Here they are, the first Robotech Genesis trading cards. Collect them all in each and every issue of Robotech Genesis. That's actually kind of a cool piece of art right there. Ninja High School, bro. Who published this? Eternity. Wasn't Eternity an imprint of Malibu? Yeah. I think Malibu did the printing for Antarctic Press books early on too. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's a true fact. Anyway, that might be fun to flip through sometime. Now, continuing with the high quality content that I have purchased here today for the price of $0. I just want to show you that ad. Now, I didn't have Lethal Enforcers for Sega Genesis, or for Sega CD. I had Lethal Enforcers on the Super Nintendo. And let me tell you, waving that blue revolver around and blasting bad guys with it was fun. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh, was it ever. I always had a blast with that game. Like, I don't know that it was like the best light gun game, but that revolver felt very revolvery. And that's okay. Because, kind of like I said earlier about, if you're the one consuming the content or whatever, did you like it? Did you enjoy it? And the answer to that was yeah. I had a blast with Lethal Enforcers, man. Anyway, the book this was in is Gravestone number 6, I guess. And I don't own any other books of this character, so I'm actually trying to think, like, do I even remember this guy? And the answer is a resounding no. And if I had opened this up and seen a clown face staring at me, I probably would not have purchased this book. This was a mistake. I have made a mistake. I am mistaken, if you will. Dude, I cannot, like, I'm trying to go just like 2 pages or something. There we go. Gwar rules! Bruh. Some guy that's into Gwar is at a clown show with an evil clown. Look, it's like Vampire Pennywise. Oh, the phrases you say when you try to explain fiction. It's Vampire Pennywise! The very concept is cursed. I mean, Pennywise was already kind of like a vampire. He was like a soul vampire or something, wasn't he? Y'all float down here. There's Greystone. Oh, hey, I actually remember this guy showing up in some other Malibu book. Oh, are they conjoined twins? Are we just at a circus? I guess they're at a circus. Hold on, let me flip through this a little more. I want to pick like something good for the 4th page I show off. Let's see, Lethal Enforcer ad. No, they don't look like they're conjoined twins. I guess they're just twins. I'm sorry. I know you're not seeing anything. Oh! Okay. Looks like our hero's got to take on all the employees of that establishment right there. If he's got superpowers and they're just a bunch of normal people, does that really seem fair? Does that seem fair to you? Your answer had darn well better be, no, Dr. Elizabar, that doesn't really seem fair. But that's okay, because super battles are not fair. By definition, they can't be, because you have super people involved, not regular people. And super people get to break all the rules because they're super. It's kind of definitional. It's, right in the name. This looks like it's going to be a weird book, man. These Malibu books are... Sometimes I get something that's really good, and sometimes I get something that just kind of leaves me wondering what I'm really looking at, Like, what even is? What is this? And I guess that's pretty normal. End up wondering what something is. Alright, my third book, this is like, Elizabar is just like slowly collecting full runs of stuff for free out of the bin. But this is actually in pretty darn good shape, man. Like, for free? I'm going to take it. Legend of the Shield, #1. The Shield is like the Impact Comics version of Superman or Captain America. He's a patriotic hero. There's a couple different shields. His origin's been retconned. The second shield, I think, was the one that was something steel, and he was like slowly turning to metal and dying or something. Really, I just like Impact books for the Black Hood, which is their kind of Punisher or Vigilante character. But hey, if I can get the Impact catalog for free, why not go for it, man? I saw this and I'm like, yeah, I don't have #1 yet. Well, now I do got #1, and it's in decent shape. There, that is all the stuff I got for free, man. Now, I did buy a couple of books. Book #1, Fire and Ice, and I'm feeling a little bit like I should flip through this thing before I go showing it off on stream. Just in case, stuff is, there, if and you know what I mean, and I kind of think you do, in fact, know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, where have you been living all your life? No one knows. No one knows where you've been living all your life, if you're in that boat. Hold on, I just noticed Six Ed Cyrus is streaming over on Twitch, which I got a little bit of Twitch news. You know what? Before we crack this puppy open, why don't we talk about that? I was unaware completely of this stuff. Let me find it. Here we go. This will do. So Twitch is shutting down in South Korea. And I did some reading here. Let me find my Discord server. I did a little reading, and apparently, they changed the law so that the traditional kind of peering agreements between providers, oh yeah, we'll send you X amount of stuff, you send us Y amount of stuff, is no longer true. So I guess whatever the lead ISP was over there wanted to gouge everybody else, and because of that, Twitch apparently can't operate in South Korea anymore because it's too dang expensive. So they're shutting down. So that is kind of just crazy to think that a country would legally force people to pay exorbitant rates to exchange data with each other. I don't get it. I don't claim to get it, but that kind of blew my mind. Like, what is going on over there in Korea? Like, it's a country with some of the most developed, most highly developed internet or just infrastructure, period. And a company that does that stuff can't operate there. I feel like there's got to be something like there's somebody trying to make a homegrown Twitch competitor, or probably YouTube competitor for that matter, there in Korea. And they wanted a competitive leg up by basically making it so that their competition couldn't afford to exist. It's wild. It's wild. Anyway, I'm going to flip through Fire and Ice real quick, just to make sure I don't accidentally like show something that gets me in trouble with YouTube. Wow! The art looks really nice. I think the art in this one is like the art in the previous one looked pretty good. It's definitely hewing towards that Frazetta look, but I think it's kicked up a notch here. Look at this crazy leaping action move, dude. Look at the foreshortening on the limbs. This is wild. It's absolutely wild. It looks great. I don't remember what the story was. I think the previous issue of this came out like 3 months ago or something, didn't it? So I don't really know why we're fighting dudes or who's fighting who. But it looks good. It looks like something I want to read. Here's the bad guy. What's his name? Necron, right? Killed his brother in the last issue. I remember that. Now he's presenting his dead brother to his mom. Look what they've done to your son. I went to summon him to your council, where I've just time to see the assassin crouched over his body. No! Oh, the intrigue is afoot. I don't know that that book needs to actually exist. I don't know that we actually needed a Fire and Ice comic. But the fact that it actually seems to be kind of hewing closely to the stuff that worked in the movie is great. So I'm a little bit excited to take a look at this. Now, this next book, I definitely got to flip through every freaking page here, because it's written by Glenn Danzig. So there's liable to be, things flopping around on page if I'm not careful. Or it's liable to be completely super violent. Actually, if I'm honest, that was actually kind of a letdown. Weird. Okay. Well, here it is. Baratek 30. Now, my shop man should know to just go ahead and put this in my box, because every time I see one of these stupid books by Glenn Danzig on the shelf, I buy the stupid book by Glenn Danzig. So he should know by now to just go ahead and do this. The interior was actually remarkably tame compared to what I was expecting. Like, there's nothing really terribly objectionable in here. Start off with like a king on a rotted throne hanging out. We got like some crazy like warlord dude over here. Like, I don't know any of these characters, okay? I really don't. But he looks dope. All the little weapons look dope. Like, it looks cool. We got some kind of, I guess she's a witch or something, because she was summoning like a swamp monster. I'm not really sure what's going on there. The book looks fine, and it's surprisingly tame. Not sure how to take that. Not sure what that means. That's what I bought this week. Now, I still got a whole stack of books over here from like last week I gotta read. So, I got like these 3 for starters. Hopefully I get some time and I can actually read these things and we can start talking about these things. And, yeah. Some other stuff real quick I just kind of wanted to touch on. I had this bookmarked for a long time because it seems really weird to me. Here we go. Marvel's owned by Disney, which owns Lucasfilm, including all rights to Indiana Jones. And there are a lot of old Indiana Jones comics, and they haven't been reprinted. Dude, you could print those in trades, or what if, hear me out. You might know how much I was into those True Believer $1 reprints from a couple years ago. Like, what if you just did that? $1 reprints of this already paid for material. You could have when the movie was in the theaters, giving these things out. Like I went to see Thor Ragnarok. What was that, like 6 years ago now? And maybe not that long ago, maybe 4 years. I don't remember. I live in a time warp these days, okay? It's a sad but true fact. Anyway, and I went to that and I got like a print, you know, a big poster for free. So why can't you just like flip this stuff? Hey, Ethereal Dragon. But it just strikes me as weird. Like, you've got this huge body of material that already exists and you're not monetizing it. Like, it's just, companies these days seem to make some really weird choices. Like, you could just print this stuff. It's already paid for. You just be printing money. And then speaking of like money stuff, I had this bookmarked for from back in the summer, and these are still like pretty close to page rates offered by Marvel and DC. Like, as of a couple years ago, when I heard people talking on YouTube about what they made at Marvel, what they made at DC, like 300 pages of artwork, or $300 for a page of art, was pretty much the way artists were living. Now, of course, the art person over here, our pay hasn't increased in at least 45 years. Yeah, neither has anyone else's, especially not in a meaningful way. Especially not in a meaningful way, man. Life is crazy. And remember this? Back from late spring, early summer? How Miss Marvel died and people who had no connection to her were coming in to mourn her passing? Anybody remember that? No? Weird. If I hadn't bookmarked it and been like, what the heck is this bookmark? I wouldn't have remembered either. This was an interesting thing. So this artist, right here, Ihalam, who I'm following, I don't know why I'm following you, making hot elves. Oh, that's probably right. Or I probably just followed them because of this popping up in my feed. But this was really weird. So the company was like, hey, we like your art. We want you to be our artist, but you don't have social media presence. We're having to reject your application. So it looks like whoever made that decision like got booted out, but like, you cannot expect your collaborators out there. Also, Ethereal Dragon here. Books, free books in the back, and then I got Fire and Ice #2 and Veratic 30 from Glenn Danzig today. Like, you cannot expect your collaborators that you're working with, that you're going to pay money to just have a big social media presence. Like, that is not reasonable. Either you like somebody because of what they do, or you don't. And if it's like, well, if we get this big name person on board, we'll get more attention, that's true. But that only gets you so far, man. That only gets you so far. And frankly, if you like somebody's art and you're going to do a project, then why not just hire that person, and then you can help them grow their social media presence, and they can help you grow yours. It becomes a synergistic thing instead of just you bottom feeding like a bunch of scum. I don't know. This really irked me the wrong way when I saw it months and months back. Just a reminder that manga just absolutely crushes everything from the North American market. Yep. And it doesn't matter. Like, look at this, man. All these books are selling gangbusters. Absolute gangbusters. 5-star stories? Really? I didn't even know 5-star stories was still running, dude. Bro. Blew my mind. But when you got a book selling 1.7, I've never even heard of Blue Lock, and it's selling 1.7 million copies a month, dude, that's absolutely wild. I think that's more copies than the entire American comic book industry sells in a month. Like, across the 500 books that go through a distributor, like, I'm pretty sure if you add them all up, it doesn't even come to 1.7 million. You know what? We could do some math on that. Hold on. Let's go to Comic-Con. Find out. Now, it only has numbers for Diamond, and I kind of want something that represents the whole industry. So let's roll back to, like, I don't know, what's a good month? July 2018? Okay. So can I export this table in some meaningful way? Ah! That happened to be the month that was like the key wedding issue thing for Batman. Let me drag this over. Any day now. Or not. There we go. So we can do like some quick estimations. So we got 440, so that's 700,000, 850, 910. So this gets us to about 1 million here. Okay, so it looks like that one book sells about as much as the entire American comic book industry on a good month. Let's go away from a month where there was a big issue like that. Yeah, this is, well, Marvel Legacy #1 is still pretty high. I guess if you start counting like all the gimmicky events, they do fairly well, don't they? Here we go. This is like a more typical look. This is like 500,000, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this probably down here gets us to like 1.6 million. So one book of manga sells as much as like the top 30 comics. That's wild. Okay, my estimation for this random book I picked was a little off, but that's still an incredible feat. Like to sell that much more stuff in American comics. And I remember this observation from Larry back in the spring. One thing that Japan does, and it's not reflected in those sales numbers, but like Shonen Jump and all of them, they have really good apps where you can get in and just read a whole lot of comics. Well, a whole lot of manga. And American comics in digital format have been locked into this digital is premium thing for months. Comics, let's click back over here. Comics are meant to be disposable, all right? So like this guy right here, this is meant to be disposable. It's meant to get folded up, shoved in somebody's pocket, pulled out, read, until it falls apart. Comics aren't supposed to be some big vanity project that's expensive and permanent and all that jazz. And the digital, you would think 99-cent digitals or whatever would have been a no-brainer, but they couldn't do it because the actual physical thing in the shop, what does this even cost me? The Verotic book cost me what, $5? Okay, I don't see a price on it. Fire and Ice cost me like $4.99 though, I'm pretty sure. You look down here at the corner box, it's either $3.99 or $4.99. $3.99. So, $4 for the physical, or you can go pay $4 for digital that you don't own. And as Sony has shown, oh my gosh, Sony. Bro, have you heard about that? How Sony is literally stealing stuff from people? Yeah, pull that up. There was an article on Ars Technica about this, and also Twitter stuff, but this was the quickest way to get to it. If you bought digital stuff through the PlayStation Store, they just say, yeah, you have no access to that anymore. Delete. So you paid, you know, $20 for a season of Deadly Affairs, and you paid to own it. They yanked it away from you. You don't own it anymore. The same thing with like digital comics, man. Unless you have a DRM-free PDF, which, hey, I'll be honest, I own a few of those things. I've got a few DRM-free PDFs. Like, here's Kindred Heavens, which I just did a review of the other day. You don't have that PDF, you don't own it. And even if you do have that PDF, you still don't own it because you could lose that PDF. You don't have a perpetual right to it. Is kind of what I'm getting at with that statement. So yeah, I think American publishers kind of killed comic books in digital format, which is crazy because if you go back to like early mid last 2 decades ago now, the 2000s, like, you just had a absolute renaissance of digital comics in the form of web comics, which, you know, I read Empowered every day. It's serialized here, and it's a blast. But there's a lot of web comics out there. I've talked about Schlock Mercenary before, which was a great web comic. Posted daily for like 20 years or something. Absolutely crazy. VG Cats, I don't even remember what the URL. Oh, that was the right URL. Like, that was a great web comic. Like, there was this whole renaissance of digital comics out there, and the publishers did not get in on any of it. They just let it go on by, or that's like the kind of neglectful way to look at it. But I think Larry's probably right that they intentionally sabotaged that stuff. Like, how do you even buy, like, how do you read digital comics from Amazon anymore? They killed Comixology, right? What is left? And there's a couple independent companies out there that, oops, I didn't mean to close that. I don't even know if they still exist. There was one called Comic House. Oh, it still exists. So there's like this, there's like a couple like independent marketplaces for digital comics. But that's kind of the problem. They're independent. You're not going to see Marvel or DC on ComicHouse.com. Now, I think I did with something I bought a while back. Oh, a Humble Bundle. I think I got like a free month of whatever the DC app is for comics. So I think it's DC Unlimited, something like that. I'm going to try that out. I haven't got it. I haven't signed up for it yet, but I'm going to try that out. And over the, you know, the December here, over the holidays, I'm going to crack that open and see what the experience is like. And we together, we're going to learn all about it. Like, will it let me read it on PC? Do I have to use it on my phone? Can I screen share it and do comic book reviews from inside that app? Because if I could do that, then I could stop buying a lot of paper products and just talk about, like, I wouldn't need to buy the paper Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla. I could just read it in the freaking app, and that would be cool. That would be really cool, because I'm out of room for paper products. I need to start getting rid of stuff, which is a place I never want to be at in my life. Also, hey XLG, you might have saw my video the other day about this dude here, this comic book retailer. Apparently his name's Glenn O'Leary. I didn't know that. And there's only 2 comic book professionals I saw that treated this guy like an actual human being. One is Mark Millar. The other was Gail Simone. And that seems so weird to me. Now, Mark Millar is getting all kinds of crap for just talking to this guy. I saw a comment from somebody. Is it this next tab? No, it was not that next tab. But I saw like comments from somebody going, well, of course, Mark Millar, he's a Nazi. Like, what? Oh, I said the bad word. I mean, oh, of course, Mark Millar, he's a bad guy from World War II. There we go. We can say that one. We can say that. Which is preposterous. It's insanity. XOG says, I opted out of streaming access to comics. You could only read them in-app and couldn't download. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm worried about. Like, if I get that thing and I gotta read it on my phone instead of reading it on a bigger screen or on like my tablet, which I can rotate to make it portrait instead of landscape, like, that's gonna be bull. That's gonna be lame. Anyway, this poor dude has been excoriated. Mark Millar got excoriated, and people are just saying all kinds of stupid stuff. Here's a great comment from Ron Mars. Anyone who describes writing as, you get paid to write the stuff we want, has not a clue what writing is about. Well, actually, yes they do, because if you don't write the stuff people want to buy, you don't get paid to write it. Someone is paying for it. You have to write what they want, Ram V. I remember your Justice League Dark run, which had some moments of great stuff in it, and also some moments of what am I looking at. Ron Mars, this is not a restaurant. You don't get to order what you want off the menu. Well, you don't get to sell me stuff that I don't want. Like, That's how it works, Ron. You make widget. The widget may be piece of paper. If I don't like piece of paper, guess what? I don't bring it home with me. It stays rotting on the store shelf. You know what that's like, Ron? You know what it's like to have books and stuff just rotting on your store shelf? Let's take a look at some of the stuff that was sitting on the store shelf. I forget exactly how long ago Three Jokers came out. But this is still on my store shelf. This is from at least last year, maybe 2 years ago at this point. Let's look this up. Batman, Three Jokers. This series concluded in October 2020. 2020. It's still on my dude's shelf. He's still trying to sell this product to people. Now you're telling me that I don't get to order what I want off the menu? That just proves that you're a dodo bird. You're a big Doomkopf. Your brain is made of Swiss cheese, Ron Mars. You may have written some interesting stuff in the past. You may even have some good ideas and good opinions on certain things, but on this particular issue, the one thing you should know really well, your own business, you're actually wrong. You're diametrically opposed to reality. Sorry. Getting a little carried away. So we'll just move on from that. We no longer need to talk about Ron Mars. If I see his name on a book, I don't buy it anyway. Now, one thing that was interesting, I was looking at Fables here on the shelf. You can see it's right next to Three Jokers. And I'm not saying Fable's not selling or anything like that, because I don't know when this book came out. But what I thought was interesting here is Bill Willingham a while back put Fables in the public domain. And I still don't know how any of that has shaken out. I don't think anybody wants to find out because Warner Brothers Discovery lawyers are out there on the loose. But it's something that I saw this, and that's a cool looking cover. I saw it and I just started wondering. So I'm going to see if I can find some time to go see what's up with that, if he's had any further comments on that. And they almost got me with a Funko Pop. They almost got me with this stupid Harley Quinn Funko Pop right here. From the Harleen, beautiful, absolutely beautiful book by Stepan Sejic, whose name I hope I just pronounced correctly. They almost got me with that Funko Pop. They did not, however, actually get me. I've stayed strong. My friends. It's interesting to see the stuff that's on sale in stores, man. The comic book section has slowly been shrinking, and more merchandise has been moving in. And I don't see people buying the merchandise either, so I'm not really sure how much longer my store is for this world. It sucks. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's an update on Nina and Ariel. We probably just got kicked off of the YouTube stream. They're like, oh my gosh, I got us some Ghibli bits here. And before you start thinking to yourself, hey, where's the capybaras? Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. We got capybaras. You know, they're out there. See, Capybusta. He's holding back the tears as he prepares to gun you down because you betrayed him. It's right there. The most capybara stream on YouTube right now. But Nina and Ariel is a book that I got mine all the way back in I don't know, January 2020 or something ridiculous like that from the Kickstarter. And the Indiegogo had I don't know, 20 extra pages or something, and it's still not delivered to people. And here's Ed Benes, the guy who made it, hawking an art book and getting ready to do a campaign for Nina and Ariel Volume 2. Bro. I know one person who needs to go back this campaign immediately. That person's name is Brian Ball. Thank you so much, Brian, for sending me the really cringy game. So XLG, you're not the only person who has sent me games this month. Brian Ball sent me 2 games, one of which I wanted and one of which is shameful. But he's a jerk, I'm a jerk, we're a jerk together, so we're gonna jerk the jerk. Whatever that even means, I don't know. And this was a good comment from Marcel Dupre, who's the writer. He runs Evolution Publishing. And comic pros hate accountability. Readers complain about books. Pros, suck it up. You're not the customer. Retailers are. This happened. This was 2017. Comic book fans were going, what is this crap? Comic book professionals said, you're not our customers. We sell to shops, not you. So, comic book readers, many of them, not all, stopped buying some of their favorite books because of it. Retailer, hey, this is the guy I was talking about a minute ago who was talking to Mark Millar. Hey, these books aren't selling. Readers don't like them. They suck. Comic book professionals, no, you suck. No, your teeth are bad. No, you look like comic book guy from The Simpsons. It's all just straight mockery of how a person looks, and there's not a shred of accountability or thought about what they themselves are creating, what they themselves have done that put the industry in the state it's in, where you have like 17 Marvel assistant and associate and junior editors living in a single two-bedroom apartment. You got a person living in like the top of the closet, a person living in the bottom of the closet, 2 people are sleeping in the bathtub, they're all eating cat food. This is an exaggeration. If you don't understand what the concept of an exaggeration is, we have just exaggerated because it's silly. But the point is, like, you got a lot of people in this industry who are not making a real living wage doing their job in this industry because the books are not selling like they used to. There's a lot of reasons for that, but part of it is people don't want what they're selling. Just kind of like, hey, let's go back to that 3 Jokers cover. Like, how is that book still on my shop shelf 3 years later? Like, this does not make sense that 3 years later, this book is still on the shelf. Even with COVID, even with, the teetering recession we're in. How is this book still on the shelf after 3 years? It don't make sense. All right. Whew. Got a lot of rant out of us here. So this was cool. I have not clicked through to this, but apparently, according to Mark Pellegrini, someone took Planet of the Apes and recut it down to 25 minutes, put it in black and white, and made it formatted it like a Twilight Zone episode. And I am going to go see if this exists and if it's any good. I think that'll be fun. And kind of far afield from comic books, apparently tabletop game publishers now are telling people, do not buy our products. We will refund you if you do. Because some dude I've never heard of before today was like, yo, I bought their book and they blocked him, called him bad things, because this is a whole thread about how this guy is a bad guy from World War II and not nice and stuff. But he was a paying customer. It's wild. I don't know what's going on here. I don't really care to dig in any further. Just going back to the comic book thing. When you start telling your customers, we don't want you as a customer, don't be surprised when pretty soon you start running out of customers. That's just kind of how that thing goes. Hey, don't buy my book. Okay, I won't. When somebody tells you explicitly who they are and what they think of you, you should just believe them. You should not doubt them. You should go, okay, you said I'm a poopy head. You said I'm a doo-doo bird. Or what I call Ron Mars, called him a dodo head or something, right? The funny things you say. Like, I should be a wrestling announcer, man. I'd be right up there with Chris Jericho. He'd call, oh, that stupid Kenny Omega with a stupid fat pumpkin head or whatever. And me and him, we would just get along and we would cut everybody down. But I digress. When people show you who they are When somebody goes, hey, I don't want you as a customer, you should believe them. And you should take them at their word. Okay? You don't want me here in this space, then I'm out. Don't pick a fight. Just go. They don't want you there, man. It's not worth your trouble. You know, if you're on somebody's Discord server and they go, hey, the thing you did was not against the rules, but we're mad at you for doing it, believe them. Okay, I won't break the rules again. I'm out. Like, you didn't break the rules, but you broke the rules, the secret rules. That's one of the reasons, like, here's an example from my Discord server of how to handle that a little better. XLG, who's in the chat out there, and thanks for popping in, brother. And hey, if anybody out there is still hanging out, we're going to wrap up the stream in a couple of minutes, but if you're still hanging out, like, be sure to give me a thumbs up if you want to see more. And like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. But XLG had posted some RoboCop parody, and it was a little over the top. And I realized my Discord server is definitely more on the 13 side of PG-13, you know? Try to avoid like going straight up into our territory. I'm sure it's happened. But what he posted was definitely a little bit past that. And I didn't make a big deal out of it. I'm just like, me and Weasel were both like, why did you post that, bro? And then I thought about it a little bit longer, and it's like, you know what? I don't want anybody else to see that on my server. Can you please take down that link to that RoboCop parody you linked? And he just did it, like, piece of cake. That's how civilized people handle this stuff. It's just like, hey man, that wasn't cool. I'm not mad at you, and I'm not threatening you or anything, but can you take that down? As opposed to making a big deal out of it. The only reason I'm telling this story is I think it's a good example of how we all can be a little more kind and a little more compassionate to each other as we're going through stuff. Because we're stuck on this planet, right? You're stuck here, I'm stuck here. Maybe one day Elon Musk won't be stuck here because he's gonna, you know, get in his ship and go whoosh off to Mars or something. Ethereal Dragon, I just saw your chat. Yeah, you missed the Mafia game, XLG. Oh man, look at that. You know, we're all stuck here together, so why make each other miserable when, with a little understanding, we can get along really well. That doesn't mean we're gonna always like click in the individual moment, but you know, understanding where somebody else is coming from, understanding the perspective, and not being disingenuous about it goes a long way towards making everybody have a better capybara time. All right. Oh, hey, completely, totally at random, I saw this incredibly cute pillow at the store the other day. So it's a big, like, pillow, like a little garden plot, and it's got little pillow carrots in it. It's adorable. I digress. I'm a weirdo. I know it. I understand it. You gotta embrace your weirdo-ness sometimes. Alright, dudes. Ethereal Dragon, XLG, you beautiful lurkers out there, thank you so much for hanging out with me. We are going to wrap up the stream here. I am rapidly becoming a piece of toast. I'm kind of tired. We're probably not going to do a Twitch stream later. I don't know. I don't want to promise either way. But thank you so much for joining me as I went off on a couple of rants and looked at some comic books. Going to review Power... No. I am not into Sentai that way, man. So no, I'm not going to review any Power Ranger comics. If I was going to start talking about Power Ranger stuff, I would have to like make a new YouTube channel where I did nothing but talk about Power Rangers and use clickbait thumbnails. Why was the Green Ranger the best Power Ranger? Was Turbo better than Ninja? 10 reasons why. I would end up having to make that YouTube channel, and that does not appeal to me. And I'm like, dude, I watched like Power Rangers when I was like 13 or something, and I have kind of moved on in my life from watching Sentai shows. Which is weird, because I'm sitting here looking at superheroes, which are just as... they're in the same, like, group, but... hey. We all have our own things, man. Now, if you want to start reviewing Power Ranger comics, I encourage you to give that a try. You've got the passion for it. You've got the love. You have the knowledge. You could totally... Ethereal Dragon, you could totally just start talking about Power Ranger comics. Share the love. Proselytize it. Boom Comics, I know, I hear people tell me, not just you, I've heard that the Boom Comics are actually really good. And didn't they just do a comic about the Pink Ranger on Kickstarter or something like that? That's like raised $1 million or whatever. I think I saw somebody talking about that. Like, that's an incredible feat. And I'm glad for them. I'm glad that it exists so that people that are into that can read it. I'm glad they're making enough money that they can do that. And people can actually, like, have living wages and not eat cat food. So, and I'm going to just say this to everybody. Like, if there's something out there that you are passionate about, if there's something out there that you are really into, share it. You know, like Ethereal Dragon, you post those links to that like Marvel RPG stream or whatever a couple times a week, I guess. And that's not my jam. But you know what? I'm not going to tell you not to share that. I want you to share it because somebody else on the server might click on that, watch it, and go, man, this is my jam. You're sharing what you love. And there's very few things in this universe that are more powerful than sharing what you love. When you have a true appreciation for something, when you have a true love for something, and you start talking about it, and you have like that master level of understanding, that's a really compelling thing. That's a really hard thing to beat. Like that, people try to astroturf it, kind of like the old T-Series versus PewDiePie thing. And, you know, yeah, T-Series may have more subs, but I bet you when PewDiePie still puts up a video now and then, I bet you he gets more love. Because the people that are into that are into it. Whereas T-Series is artificially, they're astroturfing their numbers. They're not real. They're not genuine numbers. So anytime there's something like that that you're into, even if you get like the immediate reaction from me where I roll my eyes or something like that, disregard it because I want you to share it. Absolutely. Absolutely. XLG, on the other hand, we got to dial you back a little bit, dude. You get a little weird sometimes with the things you post because you're trying to get reactions out of people. And that's okay. It's just, please be mindful of who you're interacting with when you do that. I think that's all I'm going to say is just like, be mindful of who you're interacting with when you do that kind of thing. Because some people out there, they don't know what you're doing, and they're going to take you seriously. And I don't think you necessarily want a serious reaction to some of that stuff. But I grew up in the salt mines of the bad places on the internet, so it takes a lot to get me. Like, I think the only thing you've ever done that has like caused a genuine sort of we should fix this was just that RoboCop parody you posted, which I admit it was funny, but number one, it went on for way too long, and number two, it was a little too graphic, and number three, not appropriate at all for my Discord server or most people's, because the rating on that video would be up way higher than an R. Let's put it that way. That was an NC-17 parody, although it was not pornographic. I need to state that. It was not like naughty. It was just graphic in a really brutal way. Which is fine, but you don't see me going and being like, You were so shocked by it, it blew your... Yeah, that's fine. I'm not mad at you, man. Let me make that clear. Like, since you said you missed a few minutes there, like, I mentioned this earlier, like, I think that's, like, the only thing that ever has really gone up on my server that's been kind of objectionable. Like, oh, I accidentally, linked to an art raffle or something that had nipples in the sample artwork one time, and Ninja Weasel was like, bro. I'm like, oh yeah, you caught me, dude. Look, Twitter, there's Ghibli bits. In fact, all the effects were scripts. I know, it was like, technically, it was pretty impressive, but I never want to see it again, XLG. I've lost the train of thought here. Completely. Anyway, we have good fun on my Discord server, and I don't think there's any working invite links out there anymore. I should fix that one of these days and actually have like a working invite link, because, you know, if you want to come hang out with us, like, you're welcome to come hang out with us, bro. I'm down with that. I'm down with hangouts. I think we generally have a pretty good time. I'm super rambly, and I'm just going to stop talking now. We went for an hour, which is probably about 20 minutes longer than I thought we would. We've talked about all kinds of stuff. Here's the books I got this week. Robotech Genesis, Gravestone #6, Legend of the Shield #1. Those are all free. Fire and Ice #2, which I think this should have... Isn't this like 3 months since the first issue came out or something? And then Glenn Danzig's company put out like a 30th anniversary book or something. And I got that, and I'm kind of disappointed in it already, even though I haven't read it. By the way, sorry for the Mafia game. There was no Mafia game. It's all a lie. It's a Twix. They're all Twix. Anyway, dudes, you take care of yourselves. I think I'm calling it a night and transitioning over into super chill relaxation mode. If you want to go hang out with a cool dude, oh, he's done with his speed runs. Darn it, I was going to go hang out with Six and watch his speed running, but it looks like he's done with that. Well, I guess I'll go pop over there and say hi to him on Twitch, 6F Cyrus, and watch him for a little bit anyway. So take care of yourselves. You have a great one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember to be cool to each other. You know, be excellent people to each other. Bye-bye, everybody. We're going to do that thing where I put my thumbs up, and then we wait like a minute, and then I'll kill the stream. That way I know that everybody's caught up and seen, you know, the goodbyes. And I've managed to read any messages that you put in saying goodbye over in the chat as I whack the camera. Oh, I don't actually have a stream ending thing, do I? So I'll just put my thumb up. Have a great one.